الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وبعد. We recently posted a video about the 2015 Jazeera English interview between Mahdi Hassan, he now works for MBC, and Linda Sarsour and Yasir Qadhi. This video is connected to that video. I suggest you watch that video, then this video, inshallah. Inshallah means Allah willing. Let's talk about this video. What's the issue that we and many Muslims have with Yasir Qadhi with regards to the topic of homosexuality? What's the issue? Since 2012, and I've seen the video, maybe before that, we don't know. Until today, this man has been promoting, let's say, a project to pass homosexuality under banner civil rights. We spoke about this before. Recently, he produced a video. Maybe he thought he solved this issue. Let's see. We'll read parts of the new release by Yasir Qadhi, and I'm going to read from a transcript that somebody provided, so hopefully it doesn't contain errors. The new video has already been watched by about 98,000 or more people. Posted June 15, 2022. And the title is, let me now go to the title. Rulings on Transgenderism in Islam, Yasir Qadhi. So the problem, the issue we're having with Yasir Qadhi is about homosexuality. It is haram in the religion. We know that. I did not say that Yasir Qadhi says that it is halal in Islam to sin, including the sin of homosexuality. But that's not the issue. Let's talk about the Jazeera interview, because it summarizes what Yasir Qadhi, Umar Sulaiman, Ilhan Umar are trying to do about the banner of civil rights, human rights, that it includes oppressed people like homosexuals, and that politically we can support that cause. Vigils, Umar Sulaiman is notorious for that. Coalitions, and the culmination of their mission came only last year, 2021. Yasir Qadhi is the resident scholar at EPIC, East Plano Islamic Center, Plano, Texas. He hosted a conference last year that summarizes their mission. Wallah, it's from Allah. They did that to themselves. What's the title of the conference only last year? LGBTQ+, balancing our faith with civil rights. That's the issue, okay? On that Jazeera interview, Yasir Qadhi says, I am one of the very few clerics that has very publicly said that people who have what personal issues that they have, whether it's same-sex, whether it's drugs, whether there is alcohol, it's not our right to judge them. They are welcome in our communities. It is our right to judge them. We spoke about this before. It's a sin if a person is having a premarital intercourse. It's a sin. The theology of Islam is not going to change. Same-sex unions are an immoral issue. Okay, except for welcoming them in our communities. He says here it is haram. That's not the issue. Mahdi Hassan, he's smarter than Yasir Qadhi. Mahdi Hassan is a typical Shia name, and he is smarter than Yasir Qadhi. For a lot of people, he says, for a lot of people listening will say, you say they, meaning gays, are welcome in your mosque, but they're welcome as sinners. Qadhi says that it's not our job to judge others. Yes, it is. I am willing to allow them their rights. Are they willing to allow me my right? So this is the issue. Mahdi, he's smarter. Look, he picked up on it. He cornered, trapped Yasir Qadhi. You say you're willing to allow them their rights. You support same-sex marriage. Qadhi says, I support the notion that the American government is not in charge of morality to same-sex marriage. Touch your ear. That's not the answer to the question. Mahdi, again, corners Yasir Qadhi. So, you are not opposed to same-sex marriage. Yasir Qadhi says, politically, yes. But morally, I don't. This is the issue. يا أيها المان يا ياسر قاضي. This is the issue. Mahdi says, but as the law of the land, same-sex marriage, you're campaigning to change the law. Yasir says, and this is for the world to hear, this is the answer. Yasir Qadhi says, I agree, of course not, no. What? I agree, of course not, no. What does that mean? But as the law of the land, you're campaigning to change the law. I agree. Agree to what? Of course not. You're not campaigning to change the law? No? What does that mean? La ilaha illallah. I mentioned in the previous video about I used to teach English as a second language at high school somewhere. A question came from the ministry. The question was, are you a student? One of the students wrote, yes, I am not. I agree, of course not, no. Now about the new release. So the issue is about politically yes, morally no. Now the topic of the new release is rulings on transgenderism in Islam. Transgenderism. They use these terms, clerics. I don't understand. Anyway, Yasir Qadhi says, the Quran and Sunnah affirm without doubt that gender and biological sex is real and the same. It is not imaginary or cultural. Thank you. Agreed. That's not the issue. The Quran and Sunnah affirm without doubt that men and women are different from one another in worldly roles, in some aspects only, but are equal in their potential to please Allah, attain taqwa, and reach heaven, meaning paradise. Let's explain here, because the hadith that was quoted about this topic is إنما النساء شقائق الرجال. This hadith is found in السلسلة الصحيحة by my Sheikh Imam al-Albani, who also collected this hadith, authentic hadith, in his book Sahih Abi Dawud. That hadith does not mean, as it was suggested, that women are the complementary halves of men. The meaning of this hadith is that with regards to Allah's commandments, what He legislates in terms of duties, responsibilities, rights, and whatever we see in the Quran and Sunnah with regards to ordering or prohibiting, according to the scholars of Islam, the hadith states that men and women are the same in this regard. They're the same. And this goes for most of the commandments, most of the duties and responsibilities. They're the same. And they both gain paradise if they obey Allah, men and women. They have equal opportunity to go to paradise, except where there is a special commandment, duty, responsibility, right, that Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam means Allah's blessing, honor, and mercy on him, designated some of these aspects to either men or women. So the hadith means that men and women are the same, except where is a designated aspect from Allah and or His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, either to men or women. Otherwise, they're the same. This is the meaning. It's different than what I read here. Imitating the opposite gender is haram, prohibited. Agreed. Gender reassignment surgery is haram. It is considered mutilation. Agreed. Gender dysphoria, like homosexuality, might be a real urge that a human feels, but Islam distinguishes for us what urges are healthy and what urges are not healthy, meaning halal and haram. The Sharia does not legislate your feelings, only your actions. So do not base your identity on a feeling. This we agree on. Do not base your identity on a feeling. A full-grown man wakes up in the morning, I feel I'm a woman today. I need to go to the women's restroom and play soccer with girls. It's haram on multiple stances, fronts. Anyway, the saying that the Sharia does not legislate your feelings, really? So someone who thinks about, and this is every day, I want to kill that person. I want to kill that person. I want to kill that person. Or I want to rape that woman. I want to steal that from that store. I'm going to beat up on that person, and keep repeating it. So the Sharia does not legislate anything about this feeling and urge. This is not the topic. We don't have the time. People who are intersex, hermaphrodite, have separate and well-documented Islamic legal status. This is not to be confused with transgenderism. Transgenderism. Okay. Yes, it's a biological issue that should be dealt with medically. That's the answer. We gave the answer before. Now, here is the thing that Umar Sulaiman and Yasir Qadhi keep inserting in the topic. Remember, the topic, do you accept same-sex marriage? Politically, yes. Morally, no. The conference of last year, LGBTQ+, they have other letters, but anyway, balancing our faith with civil rights. That's the issue, that's the question. But Yasir Qadhi and Umar Sulaiman, their buddies, you see, in that conference, Yasir Qadhi was the host at Epic. Dr. Yasir Qadhi was the host, and the guest speaker was Umar Sulaiman, talking for more than 40 minutes. حلف الفضول حلف الفضول. Oppressed community, oppressed community. Civil rights, civil rights. That's the issue. Does LBGTQ plus fall under civil rights that are political? They're supported in this regard politically, but it's haram in the religion, separating the religion from the political. Yasir Qadhi and Umar Sulaiman know the ayat in the Quran that describe those who separate al-hukum from Islam. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهِ. That's not the topic. They know what Allah called them in the Quran. That's what they're trying to do here. So this is what Yasir Qadhi and Umar Sulaiman keep inserting in this topic, this discussion. Do not call for hate to individuals, much less violence to those who have these urges. Is this the topic? Who's calling for violence against homosexuals? Muslims do not do that. In America, the Muslim community is the most peaceful community. Their share of the population is far bigger than their share in crime. Violence against homosexuals is the trademark carried by Christians. Christians, they do that. Muslims don't do that. Who's calling for violence? Is that the question? Calling for hate? You mean what? What does that mean? Saying that this is haram. Allah called the homosexuals different names, condemned them in the Quran and Sunnah. You don't feel hate? What does that mean? This is really, I don't understand what these people are talking about. You mean you call for love? We love you. Homosexuals, lesbians, gays, we love you. We love you. Yeah, our religion, you know, the Quran and Sunnah condemn you, curse you, but we love you. If someone, then he says, if someone comes seeking help for this or any sin done in private, keep such a matter private. Thank you for the instructions, you know. I've been counseling, as they say, Muslims for 4 decades now. I have never conveyed anything publicly that was said to me privately. Well, thank you for the reminder. Next, if someone comes to the community publicly advocating or justifying transgenderism or any sin, despite being corrected, then it is the community shar'i and constitutional right to disassociate with such a person. Really? Excellent. In May, Yasir Qadhi, Umar Sulaiman, and Ilhan Hassan attended a conference by ICNA conference. Yasir Qadhi and Umar Sulaiman, they both call for politically yes, morally no. They met there at the conference, Ilhan Hassan. They've been promoting this woman for a long time. We'll talk about her soon, inshallah. She calls for accepting homosexuality and calls it a human right. Did they associate with such a person? To disassociate with such a person. You mean hijrah? Yeah, you do hijrah to these people. You tell them, until you change your public statements about this, I'm not going to associate with you. So to disassociate with such a person is the duty according to Sharia, the Constitution too, according to Yasir Qadhi. Nothing happened. They did not admonish that woman who dances with gays publicly. Didn't say anything about it. Yasir Qadhi and Umar Sulaiman did not disassociate with the conference they held at Epic last year. Topic: LGBTQ plus. We need water, inshallah. LGBTQ plus. Balancing our faith with civil rights. This is promoting the allowing of a major sin in Islam, the worst, most filthy sin after shirk, to be accepted politically. So he's denouncing himself. Did he say, I disassociate with Yasir Qadhi, who for years been calling for this, and Ilhan Omar, Umar Sulaiman, they were there at the conference. Nothing happened. It's just a show for the 98,000 plus people who viewed the video. MashaAllah, great, this is magnificent, or whatever it is. What about the issue? Politically, yes. Morally, no. Then he says Muslim politicians like Ilhan Omar who advocate or support LGBTQ agendas are just that, politicians. Really? Does that absolve them from calling to kufr? Because according to Yasir Qadhi and Umar Sulaiman, those who claim that something Allah made haram is halal commit kufr. I will read Umar Sulaiman's statement about this. We learn our values, he says, from scholars and teachers, but not Eastern scholars, because they don't know what's going on, and disagree and counsel such politicians when they transgress. Then he says, liberalism is a two-way street. No, it isn't. It's a one-way street. It's an agenda, and their mission is this: to abolish religion, family, honor, culture, and it goes one way. They don't care about what you call to. They don't go on demonstrations calling for the rights of Muslim women in Palestine to live. They don't care about what you're saying, man. Nobody's lining up to ask you for your permission so they can do their own transgenderism, lesbianism, gayism, and any other ism that's haram. La ilaha illallah. And look at this man, look what he did. So you have the four main letters. I'll count with the left hand. LGBT. Four main letters. I mean, they added others, but these are it. Lesbians, gays, transgenders, and what? Bisexual. Why you talk only about one of the letters? What about the other three? Where the subject, the topic is, do you support gay marriage, same-sex marriage? Politically, yes. Morally, no. This is the issue. Did he answer the issue here? Absolutely not. It's just going like this, and the people who are watching this man and Umar Sulaiman will talk about his new release too. It looks like they agreed on each other on which points, especially sticking in the topic of no hate, no violence. That's not the question or the answer to any question we have given or raised about these two men and their supporters. Yasir Qadhi needs to be a man, not a coward, to admit that for years he's been pushing for this concept. Politically, yes. Morally, no. And that it is haram, what he was doing. It is, in fact, separating Islam from the political, and we have ayat about those who do that. it is also justifying the acts of homosexuality under banner civil rights. Nobody has the right to disobey Allah, let alone commit al-fahisha. Al-fahisha, we spoke about it. The great evil filthy sin, Allah called it in the Quran al-fahisha. So what we're talking about here is that you should come and admit that you did that, you pushed for this, that your buddy Umar Sulaiman has been doing it and still will prove it, that Ilhan Umar, we're not going to associate with her. I'm not going to associate with Epic anymore because they allowed me to have that conference. LGBTQ plus is haram. You can't support them. You can't go on a vigil with them. You cannot do any kind of coalitions with their organizations. We do not support them. They're haram. We're against LGBTQ plus IA. And no matter how many letters they come up with, we're against that. Haram, it's haram. We can't help them. Because you need to tell the people who are listening to you by the tens of thousands, Umar Sulaiman is like 10 times more popular than Yasir Qadhi. A lot of people listen to these people, and unless you tell them, we sinned. This was haram that we did. We're not going to do it anymore. We condemn ourselves for doing that. We will never support LGBTQ plus, especially the plus also. No, you need to say that we are against LGBTQ plus in every way, and there is no civil rights where someone is given a right to commit the sins that Allah made haram. The political is an essential part of Islam. So be a man. Don't keep dancing around it. What is this release? What are you talking about? Is this the issue? That's not the issue. The issue is you and Umar Sulaiman and others pushing this agenda for years and years, culminating in last year's conference at EPIC, the ICNA conference this year. You attended with Umar Sulaiman and Ilhan Hassan. You didn't say anything about this topic, period. But when the heat comes, they come. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us knowledge in the religion, the good sense to obey Allah in statement, action, and creed. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.